were supposed to arrest and restore some of the looted money that they were talking about, that Matiang'I, when you're in the government and you still keep on winning like some of us who are outside the government, it doesn't add up, Peter. So I would like to, for now, land at that particular point by saying this, that we will support Matiang'I if he is the only one that is fighting with Ruto. Mount Kenya will present a candidate. It is not out of their will. It is a candidate that will be presented by the current regime to split the vote, because the current regime has already realized that Mount Kenya is drifting away from the support that he received in the last general election. And therefore, automatically, we know that he has that plan of studying or supporting a candidate from Mount Kenya, especially Central Kenya, and this one in particular, Murang'a. We expect either Mwangi Wairia to split that vote in Mount Kenya, so that he can get it easy. But this one is going to be, again, it will depend with where will be Raila studying. If Raila is going to be on the ballot, then again, it is going to spur the matrix. I know there will be some complication here and there in terms of who to position in Mount Kenya. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Mau Mau. I want to cut you off because I see we have new speakers as well on the line. Malia Davis is here with us. Malia, jambo.
Jambo bana, pipi habari za kushinda.
Nimeshinda vyema, nashukuru.
Asante. So, there's nothing early about politics. Siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya, as we have seen practically within a span of 2 years. Somebody who was campaigning for a good 10 years has brought us to a law which we have hardly seen in this country. Kenyans are in despair. Kenyans are dying. Kenyans are not going to school. Bright students are not being able to go to university because of poor governance. And that is a mistake which we never learned from the era of Moi, that there is a caliber of people who are supposed to enter international leadership. You can't just take a politician because he's a politician and put him to run a country. If you want to see the difference, you can see during Moi's time, the kind of people he would put to head. They were not competent people, because if you yourself, you are incompetent and you are insecure, as such you are insecure, you will not want to put competent people to work for you, because they will expose your incompetence. They will not take your orders, because you see, leadership, national leadership is not just something for, popularity contest or ability contests. It's about competence. And Uhuru understood that, because Uhuru probably has grown up in some business empires to understand how do things work, not just a matter of somebody coming out of campus and then you become a wheeler dealer, you become a wash, and then from there you continue with that type of politicking until you find yourself through hook and crook in the highest office in the land. We have learned a very big lesson. We don't want amateurs. We want people who, and I said yesterday about people being idealistic. I am very, very, very realistic, because idealism is what has dropped us in this problem we are in. That somebody comes and there's no history of any performance anywhere. In fact, the history is smelling like there's no tomorrow, and because they are coming to promise you heaven and earth, you just give them your vote because of empty rhetoric. So if you're expecting an angel from heaven, can you please forget? Even that Morara, people have already started unearthing. So they have started unearthing things which are not very savory about him. Like, for example, that he has been cited in clubs. But anyway, my point is this: let us not miss the trees for the forest for the trees. That we are nitpicking here, that Matiang'I did this, Matiang'I did the other. We said here yesterday very clearly, when you are a CS or a chief cabinet, whatever it is, you are under orders. So you cannot take culpability for everything that happens, because you are acting under instructions. You are told to do this, you do. So that one, we cannot blame him 100% of what happened, unless if he was the one who was the president. If he was the president, we blame him because the buck stops with him. But as I told you, in some of these dockets like security, sometimes, or even other cabinet posts, you find that the CS is not even the one who's being given the orders. He could have been, he's the one who is there as the head, but Kibishu is getting orders directly from Uhuru. That's very possible. It happens very much. Those who have worked in government know that. You can be a CS and the president is working with the PS. Where unakuwa tu ceremonial. So we have to come out of that mindset that, oh, he grabbed Ruaraka. I don't know. No. If you're looking for an angel, my friend, you better die and go to heaven. Here we are on earth. And Kenya for that matter. So there's no angel who we are waiting for to come and take over this seat. But the thing is that Dr. Matiang'I has proved over and over his competence, and that he's able to deal with cartels. He's able to deal with the very big problem we are having in this country of lots and lots and lots of cartels and deeply entrenched corruption, which is affecting the whole country, which is affecting every sector in this country. So our problem is, and in fact, I don't want to hear somebody here coming to tell us about Mount Kenya, that Guru is going to support a Mount Kenya or Ruto is going to put a Mount Kenya candidate. We are tired of Mount Kenya and Kalenjins. We need somebody else. This country does not belong to Kalenjins and Kikuyus. Okay? So we don't want, in fact, this is the break that we need from this tyranny of nonsense. I am from Mount Kenya and I'm saying I will not put my vote again for another leader from Mount Kenya. We have had enough. We need now other Kenyans to also lead. And we need competent people and people who've proven themselves. And Dr. Matiang'I has proven himself on several dockets. He has proved. You tell him to get this done, he gets it done. And that is what we need. That is the problem that we're having as Kenyans. Okay? So coming to tell us here that people will support Ruto because he gave their kin jobs in KRA, or this other one brought last mile to the village, that is not what we need right now. We don't need tokenism. We need systems to work. We need an HIF to work. We don't need last mile for one person or two people. We don't need KRA jobs for 50 people from my community. I want that my children can be able to have a job, can be able to have a business without and run a business in a fair market, a level playing field. Okay? Whereby they can be able to earn their living. They don't need to know anybody. So long as they have a product which has demand, bas. You don't need to know anybody. Those are the kind of things why I'm proposing this Dr. Matiang'I, because Dr. Matiang'I is somebody who understands these things. We are tired of this trial and error with some people who have never done anything substantial. They have never even managed a ministry. And for it to bring tangible results, nothing but scandals. If you look at the dockets which were held by this guy, when he was the DP, he was just busy campaigning the entire time. So what did you expect was going to happen? So from now on, hiyo mambo ya people who have not performed, who are non-performers, whether he's from their tribe, whether he's from Mount Kenya, whether he's from my family, we are not, because it's spoiling the whole country. And we have seen now what happens when we give over the nation to tokenism. That let 50 people from my tribe, let this guy come and run the country, so long as 50 people from my tribe will get job in KRA. What about the hundreds and thousands of people who now cannot be able to access medical care? The university students who are brilliant, but they cannot be able to have university because you put somebody there who does not know anything about running a nation. And I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. I think that after what we went through with Moi for 24 years, seeing an incompetent person ruining the country to dust, we should have learned. But because we had this 20-year period up katikati, we forgot what it's like, and then we gave it to another incompetent person. So we are moving out of that, and we are moving out of this nonsense of tribe. That we cannot do what without tribe. Right now, if you go to Rift Valley, people are still dying. They are going to the. Is there any Kalenjin who has gone to a hospital and been told that because you are a Kalenjin now, chief is going to work for you? They are dying. They are dying the same way that anybody else from wherever is dying. So Kenyans, it's slowly sinking in their heads that we need systems. We don't need personalities. I don't need my brother to be in the government. I don't need all that stuff. What I need is systems to work. And the person who has proven that he can make systems to work is Dr. Matiang'I. Forget about what he did. Because if you're waiting for, I've told you here, if you're waiting for a Messiah, a savior who is pure, mweusi kama pamba, ama ni mweupe kama pamba, the way Baba says mimi ni mweupe kama pamba. My friend, you are dreaming. So me, I'm supporting this guy, and it's never too early. The only thing which I would like to urge Dr. Matiang'I to look out for his personal security, because he is dealing with an opponent who has cleared all the witnesses who are going to witness against him in The Hague. So we are dealing with a mercenary, with somebody who deals with elimination. Elimination of opponents. So he needs to have a very good security team. I hope he's going to get somebody like Mossad, like what Baba has or something, a serious security team even when he comes here, because this guy can do anything, can poison him, can do anything, you can kill him. So let's look at those factors, and it's not too early because we're already tired. We feel like we have been having this guy for 10 years. So the time is now. In fact, he's giving us a ray of hope, because we are feeling so overwhelmed by the amount of taxation that we are going through, by the fact that nothing in the country is going on. So we need a ray of hope that this guy can come in, and the way he made the departments, the ministries he was in to work, he can make the whole country work. Because all what he needs to do is just to get people who are extremely competent, the same way Uhuru did. Uhuru was not appointing his friends or his politicians. He got people who are competent, and they came and they delivered. So even him, he just now needs to come and put, even if they're outside the country, get them, let them come and do the real work of streamlining, because what we need right now is systems to work. Thank you.
Yani mnaweza sema Uhuru alikuwa na watu competent, ndugu yangu, na vile ametuweka kwa deni ya 8 trillion, one man army. Hey. Sawa, nimepumua, asante sana. I see the one and only Western Shilaho is here, and because I know Western is wale watu wa kutupatia a very long submission, allow me, Western, to jump you by one person. George does not come to the mic unless he has something serious to say. So George, ni nini imekuleta kwenye kipaza sauti? Are you there, George? Unmute mic.
Yes, I'm there, Pipi. How are you?
I am well. Karibu sana.
Asante. It's been a while.
Yes, ndo nakwambia tu mimi nakuona hapo hivi kwenye listeners. I'm like, okay, sawa. But uko sawa?
Okay. Yeah, niko sawa. Maybe if you're okay, I can proceed to give my submission.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Talk to us.
Okay. Thank you. So let's respond to the topic today, which is it too early for 2027 politics? For me, I feel like it's still too early. And my first reasoning would be, I think as citizens, first of all, we had things that we expected from the current government. And in a way, I can say that we haven't received even 50% of what these people promised. And what we should be doing now, for me, I feel, is we should be putting the government into account, maybe asking them or even finding ways to demand for the things they promised us, because we wanted service delivery. Tukianza kusema sahi, the government is 2 years into governance, and tukianza to think of the next bunch of leaders sahi, that's like saying we've lost all hope, unaona. And the question will be, what if the next bunch the next batch of leaders will just be the same as the ones we have now, unaona, or even worse? Would it mean that we'll also give out and say, sasa tunaangalia 2032? I think it's wrong to focus on that. I think the thing that we should be doing mostly right now as citizens is, how can we get this government to work for us? How can each and everybody do their role or check the government in the positions that they are in? And I'm happy about the church. The church is now starting to check the government in the right way, which is supposed to be done. And now the question for each and every citizen and every organ in the country is, in our position as a body, as an institution, anything, even as a citizen, what can you do to check the government now so that they can deliver for us? Because if you don't check them, they'll just do whatever they want. Then secondly, maybe just to contribute on something that the person who spoke before me said, we are now bringing up names for the people who will lead us in 2027, one of them being Morara, the other one being Matiang'I. And I'm just like, we should not limit ourselves to these people, because once we limit ourselves to these people, even the people sitting in power right now, they start preparing with that, because they're just like, the citizens are not talking about this. How can we either counter these people or be better than these people? And I think for me, rather than focusing on the leaders, let us focus on the electorate. As a Kenyan citizen, I'm as a Kenyan voter, what can we do to change this person? Because whoever in power, the results are those people who went and voted, because we voted an incompetent person. I mean, we had Ruto 10 years as a deputy president. The fact that we voted in him back to power with all his incompetence, that means that there's something about the electorate that has to change. Unaona, the mtu wetu syndrome has to change. Unaona, this person is a man of God. Those things, like, we don't have to vote people based on such narrative. Sama is poor, he will understand us, you know. Huyu ni mtoto wa a rich person, he will not steal from us. Those are not valid points that will help us. Na sasa civic education sasa kwa wananchi ndio itakuwa important, like to enlighten our people, to ambie now we will need someone who is integral enough. Unaona, this is the kind of person who can bring nini to this person. Let us weigh him. Does he check that point? Akicheck integrity, tick. Unaona, can he deliver to us? Tick. Not vitu ati this person is young. You know, most Gen Zs are resonating with Morara because Morara probably is a young person. And for me, I'm just like, someone being young is not a guarantee that they will lead us well. He can still serve as trash. I mean, in the parliament, we have young parliamentarians who went there and still never delivered as we expected. So I feel like maybe CC as an electorate now, we have to start thinking of what can we do to change the leadership. Ama hiyo wakati ikifika, are we really prepared for that moment? Tusifike ati tena 8 million youth hawana voting cards, they won't vote and won't make any change. Those are the things we should be changing now. Now, how are we going to vote for these people? Do we want... What kind of Kenya do we want by that time? Unaona, those are the things we should be discussing now. Unaona, see ati nini ya 2027. Thank you sana, PP.
Thank you for that submission, Bwana George. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Naona Bwana Weston Shilaho is here with us. Talk to us, Weston.
Thank you, Pepita. Thank you so much. Greetings to your audience. Pepita, you're asking, is it too early for 2027 politics? Pepita, have you ever seen these people abandon campaigns and do something else? Have you ever seen them? These people campaign 24/7 from one election to the next election. In fact, after the Supreme Court has pronounced itself on the presidential petition, they start talking about the next election. But they're back on top of SUVs and addressing church functions and funerals and barazas all over. Have you ever seen them working? So the question is a moot one. These people campaign non-stop. In fact, A visitor coming to Kenya at any one given time will be mistaken to think that an election is happening tomorrow or next week. It's the only country where people just talk politics 24/7, and the media are obsessed with politics and politicians. You wake up in the morning, there's a politician in some TV studio. You go to bed, there's a politician in some TV studio. Yeah, just talking politics, and not even transformative politics, retrogressive politics. Oh, somebody said this and this in a funeral. What do you say about it? Come on. So, Pipita, it's not like there is some period, as far as our politics is concerned, where you know, campaigns begin here. Go to the US. You wouldn't even know that elections were held the other day. People are back to the things they do with their lives. Politicians who have been elected, you go work for the people. You implement your policies and your programs and your promises. We'll meet again 4 years down the line. Ghanaians are having elections in December. After that, they go back to business. Botswana, they had election the other day. The sitting president lost. Picked a phone, called the one who won, congratulated him. They met. The immediate president told his supporters, rally behind this government. Rally behind this government. Support this government. Those are not angels. Those are black people like us, aren't they? Cape Verde, you go there. A stable democracy. Are those angels? So our bad manners are just that, bad manners. So there are no angels anywhere, but there are people who cherish integrity, principles, honesty, the rule of law. Those are not characteristics of angels. Those are traits of human beings. So no one is looking for an angel. No one is looking for a perfect person. I mean, where are you going to get those people? But there are people of integrity in positions of power. When they get into power, they appreciate their mandate to serve, not to enrich themselves. Why are we celebrating thugs and scoundrels and skunks? Why do we do that? Out of 50-odd million people, you want to tell me there are no people of integrity? We only have scoundrels and skunks in Kenya. That's not true. That's not true. Scoundrels may be loud, may be having a lot of money, but they're not representative of our values, are they? They're not. They're loud. They impose their will on everybody else. They're not representative of the society, are they? So let's not be cynical. To think that the other thing, I've got a problem. This anti-Ruto movement is laced with bigotry. 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 Yeah. He's done awful things. He's done really reprehensible things. That's factual. But we must also appreciate that there's bigotry in this movement against William Ruto. And we have to call it out for what it is. So if we say William Ruto, I mean, is this awful person, then we ask, what happened to Pio Gama Pinto, Jem Kariuki, Tom Mboya? Were those politicians taken out under William Ruto's regime? Were they? Were they? Were they? What happened to victims of post-election violence, 2007, 2008? And if you see the reports and the statistics, majority of the victims were taken out by state apparatus. What happened to those people? Were they taken out under William Ruto regime or Daniel Moi? Were they? Were they? What happened to the elections of 2007, which were stolen and we almost dissolved into civil war? Did that happen under William Ruto? Did that happen under William Ruto? Did it? And what happened to the election of 2017, which was annulled, which means there were irregularities, and irregularities is just a euphemism for elections were stolen. Yeah, who was in charge at that time? Who was in charge? Okay, we can say William Ruto stole because he was the deputy, but who was in charge? Let's be honest. Who was it? So this revisionism is not going to take us anywhere. For us to think that Kenya was working from 63 until 2022, that's when we fell into the abyss. It's not true. It's not true. It's rewriting history. We're cherry picking. That's what we're doing. It's not going to take us anywhere. We're cherry picking. The country was just as atrocious under Jomo Kenyatta as it was under Daniel Moi, as it was under Mwai Kibaki, as it was under Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah, and we must admit, for that is what will enable us to get the country working. But this cherry picking that, oh, we've got some, individuals who worked for Kenya and there's, well, Daniel Moi came and destroyed. What did Daniel Moi destroy? What did he destroy? Who was subjecting people to oath and saying you can't vote for this person and that person? Was that Daniel Moi? And these things are written in the history books. Was that Daniel Moi? Was it? Was it? It was not. It wasn't. This polarization we see in the country, where did it start? Harmony, this ethnic disharmony, where we define one another as mortal enemies. When did it start? Do people remember the elections of 1966 called literal general election? The state was unleashed against Jaramogi and the people like Bildad Kagia. When Bildad Kagia was dismissed, how can you support somebody who is uncircumcised? Have you read history? Have you read? Have you people read history? Yeah, Bildad Kagia Kikuyu was stigmatized. How can you support Jaramogi, a Luo, not circumcised? 66. We're still having this primordial politics. Yes. Anybody who was associated with Jaramogi was completely dismissed and stigmatized, and the state was unleashed against them. Yeah, elections that were held specifically to deal with their Jaramogi and his allies, to get them out of government. Was that under Daniel Moi? Was that under William Ruto? Yeah, we choose to remember. We choose to remember. Yeah, you can choose to remember. We don't. We don't. We have perpetrated atrocities against one another. Please, let's own up. And by saying we, it's not me and you, Pipita, and these people. The people who have had in power before, some of these people are hosting as heroes. They're not heroes. They're not heroes. Why did the country go up in flames in 2007? If Kibaki is this person who was a good leader who did things that, we celebrated, how come? How come? How come the country almost went to the dogs? And the dogs say, no, we don't want this country. How come? How come? Have you read the ICC charges against the Ocampo 6? Have you read? Have you read? Or did you follow the proceedings? They were there in the media at that time. You can go, YouTube videos are there. One of the accusations was that a Mungiki militia had a meeting at State House. Who was the president at that time? Who was the president? Yeah, that was one of the accusations by Ocampo and the ICC, wasn't it? So this notion that, William Ruto is the worst thing that ever happened to this country, oh, Daniel Moi, it's not true. It is not true. And it's not going to take us anywhere. It's not. Because we're dishonest. We are fraudulent. We don't want the hard conversations. It's easier to blame this person and that person, and that will solve our problems. It will not, because you are part of the problem. You is perpetrating this lie that all was good. From 63 to 78, the country was working. From 78 to 2002, there was chaos and barbarism. Everything went to the dogs. And then, some other rescuer, came, Messiah, from 2002, 2013, 2022. Yeah, that period was good. Really? Really? It's not true. It is not true. It is not true. So the bigotry that has, that is accompanying this anti-Ruto movement is not going to help us. That bigotry is not going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. We'll not take this country anywhere. It won't. Because he will fight back. He will fight back, and he has a chance to fight back because we are not opposed to it because of corruption. So we can justify, Matiang'I's corruption. Why don't we justify William Ruto's corruption? Which corruption is acceptable and which one is reprehensible? Which one? Where you steal 1 billion is acceptable. This person steals 2 billion. That one is not acceptable. Is that true? Is that true? Suddenly, no, we don't have angels. So William Ruto is not an angel. So why do you have a problem with him? Why do we have a problem with him? Why? Yeah, we have a problem with him because of the person, because of the ethnic group, not because of the corruption, not because of extrajudicial executions, not because of tribal appointments. We have a problem with him because of his ethnic group. Yeah, that is it. Otherwise, why would you sanitize Matiang'I? If you are committed to good governance, the rule of law, why would you sanitize Matiang'I? Why would you do that? I want a country that works for everybody. Okay, there are people who were there before. Why are we sanitizing them? Why do we do that? What did Rigathi say that time when he was throwing barbs against Uhuru Kenyatta? What did he say? He said he picked him from where? From drinking dens. Did you hear? So what is this that Uhuru Kenyatta was working and doing business? What did Rigathi say? He has said those things publicly, didn't he? He said it. Yeah. So you forget about that. You say, no, this one was working. He was running businesses. William Ruto was just a tag, wheeling and dealing. Please, 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 let us learn to be honest about what we say and about the country. Let us be honest. Let us be honest. Dishonesty will not take us anywhere. And if we are not invested in taking out this establishment, we like the status quo. Things are working because the person who is in charge is the person I admire. It's from my region. Well, that is dishonesty. That is cynicism. That's being cynical. Yeah. Suddenly, it's not the establishment, it's the person. When we know clearly it's the establishment. And William Ruto is part of the establishment. Yeah, that's why he's not holding these people to account. Because he is part of the establishment. Yes. Why doesn't he hold them to account? Part of the establishment. If you go through the archives, and there are videos where Uhuru Kenyatta donates money to the church. Why didn't we raise questions at that time? Why didn't we? Suddenly there's a problem donating money to the church. Even the church itself has a problem with it. When they were receiving money before, whose money is that they were receiving? Why didn't they raise questions about morality? Why? Why didn't they write letters? Why did they return the money? Yeah, Uhuru has even built a church and given it to the Catholic Church. Why didn't the Catholic Church say, no, a politician can't build us a church? Yeah, because we're selective. We're very selective in our relationship to morality, to values, to ethics, to the rule of law, to justice. We're very selective. We are very selective. And that's why they say, if people get the leaders they deserve, I think that person had Kenya in mind. Yeah, had Kenya in mind. You get the leaders you deserve. You had Kenya in mind. Others wouldn't be somersaulting like this. Gymnastics. When it comes to fairly grave issues, we can even try to justify. And that the people will hear us and think that we're making sense. Which sense are we making? Which sense are we making when we're justifying a rot? And in the same sentence, we're condemning someone else for the same rot. Does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense. Matiang'I, if it's true, has enlisted the services of Mossad. What is Mossad? Mossad is an intelligence organization of the Israeli government. Why would you invite Mossad in your politics? To do what? To do what in your politics? Mossad, the Israeli intelligence body. Why would you want them to support a candidate for you? What are they getting in return? What are they getting in return? You know, this, you know, we're glossing over things. What are they getting in return? So are they at the same time, you want to invoke sovereignty? You're a sovereign state. Where's your sovereignty? When a candidate has been hoisted on you by external actors, and very controversial actors for that matter. So whose interest will your president serve? Whose interest? So you're complaining about William Ruto serving external interests. You want another president who clearly has been put there by some suspicious interests, suspicious actors. What is the point? We can't look at things logically? Is that what it means? So you say, oh, Matiang'I didn't have a choice. What choice? What choice? In criminal justice, for them to establish that you've committed a crime, they look at three things. Did you have free will? Did you have knowledge of what you were doing? Did you have freedom? Then they can establish you committed a crime. Matiang'I could have resigned. If the instructions he was given, he couldn't agree with them, he would have resigned. He could have resigned. He should have resigned. He did not. So how do you blame the president? How? Read the European Holocaust. Read. Those who took Hitler's instructions were tried. You could not go to court and say, no, Hitler gave me instructions. I sent these people to the gas chambers. No. You had a conscience. You knew you were doing what you were doing was wrong, morally reprehensible. Taking people and gassing them. That's wrong. They were tried, weren't they? They were tried. Individual culpability. Your mind was working correctly. You know, it's not like you are a mad person. You knew what you were doing was wrong. So why would you blame the president? Why would you blame William Ruto? When a minister carries out clearly reprehensible and illegal instructions, why would you blame the... Was he mad? Was he mad? He couldn't resign? He couldn't refuse? You see how we justify the wrongs that are happening in our government. And at the same time, we want to blame people. No, there's a lot of corruption or extrajudicial executions or tribalization of the state. But the same things we can find reason to justify when they are perpetrated by other actors. How is that normal? It's not normal, is it? It can't be normal. It's not normal. So why are we not consistent? You can find issues with William Ruto. You can find issues with Uhuru Kenyatta. You can find issues with Matiang'I, with Mwai Kibaki. Can't you? You can't, eh? So you cherry pick. You choose who is a hero and who is not a hero. You come up with your own history. Who to celebrate and who to condemn. Who did wonders?
Western.
Who did not do wonders? Is that really true? Is that really correct? It can't be. It can't. It cannot.
Western. Hey, Western.
Yes, is that Pepita?
No, it's the doctor.
Who is that?
It's the doctor.
Oh, yes, the doctor.
Western. I just wanted to say that maybe we have you limit your time a little bit because I've seen several hands here. Maybe they have something new to add on before you continue.
No, Pepita has not said anything, so it's important. I just say what
2 minutes,
I'm saying.
2 minutes, Western.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Give
The
me
doctor.
2 minutes.
I am the only commander in the show, Buana. The doctor.
Yes.
You
You are
don't
the
do
only
my work.
commander
Okay.
in the show.
Just relax. Western akiongea hivyo arudi hapa tena. So let's give you 2 minutes.
Sirudi,
At the top of the
sinaenda.
hour, I'll take the mic.
Correct, Pepita. So, Pepita, what I'm saying, I've got a problem with bigotry fighting against bigotry. I've got a problem with that. I do. I've got a problem with revisionism. I do have a problem with that. I've got a problem with creating heroes where none exist. I have a problem with that. I do. I don't want to take us anywhere. Matiang'I left us with a very crappy education system, CBC. There was militarization of exams. It's still happening now. Those things are problematic. There were some 8 boys at Ambira High School who were arrested when he was a minister. I don't know, because they had insulted him. Those are problematic things. We cannot gloss over those things. We can't. Boys, these are minors. They were arrested after they had written their KCSE exams. There was a video that they had insulted him. They were arrested, taken to court. Yeah, this is a person you are saying is presidential material, eh? Okay. Cynicism. We're just as cynical as the people who are opposed to. So how are we going to work for a country how are we going to realize a country that works for all of us when we're just as cynical as the people who are in power? Thank you, Pipita.
You are listening to Home Run with Pipi. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I see Dr. Genz is here. You know when you see Dr. Genz in the building. What? Mtu semimi. When you see Dr. Genz in the building, of course, you'd want to hear from him at some point. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Hapa hivi ndani kwenye Home Run with Pipi. And of course, as my guy, the doctor has reminded me that we need to keep time. So I'm going to start with the doctor because he's the one who is concerned. And then I'm going to go to Engineer Alex and Apapa before I go back to the guys who have already spoken. Thank you so much, Justin Shilao, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Home Run with Pipi. We happen here each and every weekday from 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. East African time. This show is supported by you, the listener. If you like what I'm doing, I have my M-Pesa number 0721948229 pinned on the tip jar line there where you can drop your support. Also, we have a very important conversation tomorrow with a panel of doctors with regards to antimicrobial resistance. And of course, I have a panel of 5 doctors who will be seated down with me here on Spaces from tomorrow, 7 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. And I think it's a good thing that you tune in for that and listen in, of course. So otherwise, let's keep on interacting. Retweet the tweet that is there on the pinned. I see the doctor. Talk to us.
Thank you, Pipita. I want to somehow disagree with what Western was saying, that we can just correct this regime of William Ruto rather than coming with issues like the foreign government was zilikuwa mzuri or whatever. But Western, I would like to ask you a question. If you say that the former regimes have not been working since during the era of Kibaki, I think that is his second tenure in office. I think he tried. We are not saying that he was 100% working, but from my point of view, I think he tried a little bit. He tried, and that's what we want. Not people who come up with ideas that doesn't work, like we have Shah and Shif. These are ideas that automatically doesn't work. And the issue of Matiang'I, I think Matiang'I has been one of the secretaries from the appointment of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And to me, I see he's the best candidate for this to vie for this presidency 27. He's a man who is strong, a little bit strong, and if he can get some support, he can make very good presidency, because we cannot say he's 100% sure or he doesn't make mistakes, but he made mistakes, and we acknowledge that. But to my point of view, Matiang'I is the best as per now. I'm not saying that he's the only